And let's talk about this specific point, right? You are right now talking about ceremonies, right? And one of the most popular ceremonies is the stand-up meeting. But what is the goal of that? Who needs to be there? Why I just spend 15 minutes and no more, right? So I think
I
this is
wish it
the
was 15 minutes and no more.
yeah, everybody wish that it's just 15 minutes and that's it, right? And let's start our conversation here with the Scrum ceremonies. Daily stand-up. Daily stand-up is for developers and in order to sync, right? To sync the job that they are doing in a daily basis, right? But what is or why some teams thinks the daily Scrum doesn't work? It's easy. As I'm telling you right now, there are many components. One of the main components here is people, right? People is the most uh, challenge challenges component during the implementation of whatever framework. Uh, First, most people think that daily stand-up is a status meeting. That is ground. I mean, it's not a status meeting. A status meeting for who? For the Scrum Master? I don't think so. For the stakeholder? I don't think so. For the product owner? I don't. Obviously, no. The it's not a status meeting. It's just a synchronization meeting for developers, and the goal of the session is that think about the work that you are going to do, or the work that you are doing right now, and say, okay, I'm facing this problem. I really need help from whatever, and please help. This is the correct moment to raise your hand and ask for help, right? It's not a status meeting. It's different. You see the difference? I mean, it's not the same that the task 143 is in progress. This is a status, right? Instead of, okay, I'm working on develop this specific functionality to enable users to log in, but I'm stuck on the database part. So I need help from other person. It's different, right? Because you contextualize the problem and you're saying that you have a problem and you're saying that you need help. This is the main difference, right? Um, I don't know, what do you think, but most of the teams are with not or doesn't have that mindset in when they are performing this kind of ceremony, right? Why? Because obviously most of the people thinks that it's just a status, and that is not the status. It's just synchronization. Um, there are a lot of components. Uh, Other component that I just remember is who needs to be there. In your opinion, who needs to be in the daily meeting?
Not me. No, I don't know.
Not
No,
the
just
developer,
joking.
right?
No, but I don't know. I mean, I used to know the Scrum guide as well, but I'm not sure now. But I understand the whole team in terms of the stakeholders. Obviously, the technical team, developers, QA, obviously the Scrum Master. Uh, if you have something like a product owner, should be there.
So what do you think if I tell you that for daily stand up you don't need a scrum master?
I would say perfect.
Yeah,
It's nothing. It's
yeah.
nothing. It's nothing personal. Huh?
No, no, no. I'm totally agree with you. It's better to.
But I agree on what you're saying, that it's not like a status meeting. It's just like a sync. But for example, let's say that I'm working on a story and I have no blockers. I'm working as expected. Everything as what then? What's my update? What's my purpose in the daily stand up?
Yeah, this is a really good question because the meeting focuses on what are you doing right now to
Mm-hmm.
achieve the sprint goal, right? And this is
Mm-hmm.
other thing, right? So i- if the sprint goal was set correctly, you are you are focused on the things to achieve that goal, right? And what happened if maybe you are working in a specific user story that is not related to that uh, goal, because some stakeholder ask you directly to say, hey, Hector, please, I have this as a urgent because I don't know something, right? Please take it. And during the sprint, you are working perfectly. You are working without blockers, but you are working in something that is not related to the sprint goal, right? So this is the idea, just to say the work that you are doing right now to achieve the sprint goal, right? Maybe you are working in something that is without blockers, but if it's not related to the sprint goal, this is the opportunity to mention, and we can figure it out what is the priority of that work, right? So that's why it's important to communicate what are you doing right now, or what are you doing for accomplish the sprint goal. Because if, as you know, right, we used to work in a consultancy world that the stakeholders say, hey, this is urgent, please take it. So what happens if you don't mention that? At the end, you cannot achieve the sprint goal, right? So that's why it's important.
Correct. I mean, in that case, it will be important to mention, because if some that's that's a common scenario, that some stakeholder, let's say project management or whoever, maybe contacts you and say, hey, please help me with this report, or if please help me with this bug that
Hmm.
is bothering, and we need to, it's really urgent. And obviously it's never part of the sprint,
Hmm.
right? Or either you need to mention, because it might take you the whole day, or it will take you some hours of work.
Hmm.
Or I don't know, what's your recommendation on that? In my experience, I face it really, not every sprint, but it's really common to have that. Okay, I'm focusing on that, and then some
And
guy comes and say, okay, we have this bug, please look into it because it's a production bug. And I
yeah,
will say, I cannot say no, because obviously it's important, but
because it's the customer, right? Because
it's,
it's the
yeah, because
stakeholder.
the stakeholder and the users, the final users, whoever it is, are facing the issues, and I need to resolve it. And I, without, normally you, without asking questions, you just do it.
Yeah.
But then how I proceed is just do it. Maybe later on, once it's resolved, or once time passes, I might ask for a story for it, and correct story points, just to, and adapt, because that will take priority, I guess, and adjust. I mean, I guess this bug fixing takes priority, and some other story might be left out. But
Yeah.
I
My,
don't
my
know how.
recommendation, my recommendation to
Mhm.
you and to all your audience, if you're facing that, keep it simple. That's it. What I mean, uh, in the previous scenario, when you are not having blockers and just to you continue working on the task that you have, that's it. I'm not having blockers. I'm just continuing with that. And in the other scenario is that stakeholders ask you directly, keep it simple as well. Hey, I cannot take it because I have this priority, right? If you want, or because if you want it because this is urgent, okay, let's negotiate, right? Let's talk about the priority, but it's not on me. Priority are set by product, right? Because it's supposed that you are developing a product and there is a specific role to track the progress of the product. That this is the product owner in this case for Scrum, right? Um, you can raise your hand and say, okay, stakeholder, please, let's have a conversation with my product owner, with me, with you, just in order to explain what or why is this urgent, and let's negotiate, right? Because obviously, this is part of the mindset. Agile is open to change and embrace the change in Agile. I mean, if you already plan for something, and maybe something is surging because you're gonna lost, I don't know, thousands of users. Obviously you need to look for that because the users are the main part of your business, right? So it's as keep it as simple, just trying to say, please, let's talk. That's it. And this is the main problems of a lot of teams, because as you mentioned, maybe it's urgent, is the stakeholder, is the customer, is the person that pays your salary. and you cannot say no, right? It's supposed that you cannot say no, but yes, you can say no. You can say no at the moment, and you can propose to negotiate with other persons in order to know the correct priority.